On today's show, we got 2 new Monster Hunter collaborations, and I'll be talking about part 2 of my latest Monster Hunter Stories playthrough. So sharpen your weapons, grab something to eat, pet your Poogies, and don't forget your hot drinks, as we ready up for this episode of The Palibros. What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 27 of The Palibros, a podcast where a group of friends, or sometimes just me, come together to talk to you about anything and everything Monster Hunter. Of course, I am one of your hosts and the first to cart, Patrick Jovez. It is just me today. This would have been the episode where we celebrated one entire full year of The Palibros. But because I kind of wanted it to be everyone, to have like a full host show so all of us could like reminisce and all that, we're going to go ahead and push that to next month, February. So our full like celebration of 1 year of the Palibros is going to be pushed over to February. It was supposed to be this episode, but because of life and people's schedules and all that, we weren't able to make it happen. So apologies for that. And also apologies for such a late episode throughout the month. You know, I'm trying to get you guys at least 2 episodes per month, one at the beginning, one at the end. This episode has been so late just because the past 2 weeks have been pretty crazy at my house. My daughter got sick. That moved on to me. Now it's on to my wife. And we all pretty much just got hit with the frenzy virus, and we didn't spec our armor accordingly. So excuse me if I sound a little funny, and you know, thank you guys so much for your patience. I'm gonna get this episode out tonight as soon as I finish recording it. So thank you so much for that. But for now, let me remind you that this is the Palibros podcast, where each and every episode we try to keep you up to date on the latest Monster Hunter news, play Monster Hunter trivia, and in general talk about one of our favorite franchises. So don't forget, you can get each and every episode on youtube.com/thepalibros, Spotify, and a variety of other podcast services for your listening pleasure. And if you like what we do, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing this episode with friends, and hitting that bell icon to help support us and to know when each of the latest episodes are posted. But for now, let's go to the quest board to see the latest in Monster Hunter news. Today on Monster Hunter News, we have 2 stories. Our first story, Monster Hunter Cross Ichiran Ramen collab reveals exclusive merch and in-game items for Monster Hunter Festa 26. This news comes by way of EssentialJapan.com and is written by Charlotte Davis. Capcom has announced a tasty new collaboration with Ichiran Ramen, one of Japan's top tonkatsu noodle chains, for the upcoming Monster Hunter Festa 26. The event, scheduled for February 22nd, 2026, at Makuhari Mess in Chiba, will feature the ramen chain's first ever kitchen car appearance at a Monster Hunter gathering. Attendees visiting the Monhun Kitchen Corner can purchase a bowl of Ichiran ramen for 800 yen, approximately $5.50 USD, $4.50 GBP, bringing the authentic taste of the popular Hakata-style noodles directly to the venue. While the ramen served at the kitchen car is a standard event menu item and not themed after the game, the collaboration extends into exclusive merchandise that offers both physical and digital rewards. 2 special Ichiran Hakata thin noodle Monster Hunter Wild sets, will be available for purchase, both of which include a 5-serving pack of Ichiran signature straight noodles and an original card containing a downloadable code for in-game content. This code unlocks the Ichiran Special Charm Set for use in Monster Hunter Wilds on PlayStation 5 and Steam, featuring weapon charms of a Palico dressed in Ichiran's red and black colors. The premium Ichiran Hunter Sake Cup set, priced at 9,350 yen, approximately 65 USD, 51 GBP, includes a 5.5 centimeter tall sake cup, a large acrylic stand, and 3 original stickers. A standard set is also available for 6,050 yen, approximately 42 USD, 33 GBP, featuring a smaller acrylic stand. Alongside the food and merchandise, the event will host the Monster Hunter Wilds King of the Hunt competition 2026, a time attack tournament where 2-person teams vie for the title of King of the Hunt. Qualifying quests have been distributed as of today, January 21st, challenging players to hunt New Agudora, I believe it's New Udra in America, in the remnants of the Dragon Valley field. The top teams will advance in the semifinals and finals, which will involve hunting formidable monsters such as Jindahad and a multi-monster quest featuring Doshiguma, Raidao, and Arkveld. Winners will receive the Arkveld Head Trophy, while top placers will be awarded a special edition Puma Cross Monster Hunter Wilds reversible boa jacket. The Monster Hunter Festa 26 is a free admission event with tournament entry applications open until January 23rd, 2026. Sales for the Ichiran Ramen Cross Monster Hunter goods will begin at the event venue and online via a special Ichiran site starting at 10 a.m. on February 22nd, limited to 1 set of either type per customer. This was, I guess, if you wanted to sign up for this, you had until January 23rd. That is my fault for not bringing this news to you earlier, but the event is still going to happen over there in Chiba if you're in the area on February 22nd. Looking through some of the rewards and stuff, the Arkveld, there's like this Arkveld golden bust, looks cool as hell. That it looks really sick to win that if you win the 2-person tournament. And then also the boa jacket has a nice green, like olive green color, and looks comfy and super cool that they're having, this crossover event. So if you're in the Chiba area, go ahead and check this free event out. Get yourself some nice tasty noodles. Moving on to our next story is another collaboration. Capcom announces new Monster Hunter Wilds cross HoloLive collab. This news also comes from EssentialJapan.com and is written by James Richardson. Capcom has announced a major new collaboration between Monster Hunter series and popular VTuber group HoloLive. Focusing on the series' latest title, Monster Hunter Wilds, and operating under the campaign title HoloLive and Palico, the event features the talents of HoloLive's 5th generation members, Yukihana Lamy, Momosuzu Nene, Shishiro Botan, and Omaru Poka, depicted in a newly drawn illustrations alongside the game's feline companions. Capcom-owned amusement facilities and online crane game Capcom Net Catcher Captore will begin offering exclusive prize merchandise based on this network, including items such as trading can badges, acrylic stands, and full graphic t-shirts. The full lineup of prize merchandise includes trading can badges, acrylic stand key holders, window flat pouches, muffler towels, acrylic boards, full graphic tees, square cushions, tapestries, and mouse pads. The Plaza Capcom Ikebukuro store will feature special decorations and life-size panels of the VTubers, with panels also installed at other direct Capcom locations. To celebrate the launch, several promotional campaigns will be held, including a 500 yen coin drop event where players can receive random clear files starting January 30th or multi-cloths starting February 13th by inserting 500 yen into designated machines. Following the arcade rollout, a collaboration cafe is scheduled to open at Capcom Cafe Ikebukuro and Umeda locations from February 20 to April 9th, 2026. The collaborations begin on Friday, January 30th, 2026 at Capcom Direct amusement facilities nationwide and the Capcom Net Catcher Captore online service. The associated cafe event will follow. accepting reservations now for its run starting February 20th at the Ikebukuro and Umeda locations. Capcom has confirmed that further information regarding the partnership will be released sequentially under this HoloLive and Palico campaign name. Very cool. Not much going on in the Monster Hunter, I guess, game now that we're pretty much content complete, save for the final monster coming in February, which is the Arch-Tempered Arkveld. But, Monster Hunter is still a huge IP. It's, of course, in Japan, where it comes from, it's going to have all these cool, fun crossovers and stuff like that. So I know HoloLive isn't really my thing, but I'm happy for everyone else that loves HoloLive, and I'm glad it's bringing more attention and more players to Monster Hunter. And yeah, by doing this really fun, cool collab. So yeah, again, Japan gets all the cool stuff. So go ahead and check all those things out. And let me know what you guys think in the comments if you end up going. Of course, if you hear that sound, it means we're all readied up for the main event of the evening. Meat, 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 meat. So tasty. The main event of the evening is part 2 of my Monster Hunter Stories playthrough. Now, I know what you're saying. How long has it taken this guy to play Monster Hunter Stories 1? The answer is it's taken pretty long. But I have a good reason. I'm enjoying the game. I'm taking my time with it. Also, it's not my job yet, so I can't put every single working hour into just playing the game. I do work full time. I do run this podcast. I do have kids, and I am back in school. So every extra time that I have goes to playing that game. It has gotten a lot slower. I think I've started to do a lot more of the side quest stuff, and I know I had the goal of trying to beat Monster Hunter Stories 1 and Monster Hunter Stories 2 before Monster Hunter Stories 3 comes out in March. I don't think I'm gonna hit that, especially because it's almost February. But realistically, I am having a blast with the game still. I am about, I want to say like 30, 35-ish hours into the game. And I just love the game so much. I think the honeymoon phase is over with it, though, where now I understand the game, but it is now not just, oh my god, it's not Pokemon, it is Monster Hunter. Like, that phase has kind of fallen out of me. Not to say that I'm not enjoying the game. Oh, who's texting me over here? But I am able to see a bit of the flaws a little bit more clearly. But that being said, like, you'll get my full review on the game when I finish it. But yeah, I just want to kind of talk about a little bit about the story, just to, kind of catch you up on where we were. So last time we left off, we were in the snowy fields of the mountains. We met Avinia, this other rider from a different village, and we helped her out, her and her Barioth. And at the end of that playthrough, we ended up opening up the mechanics of the game with the Rite of Channeling. Of course, if you haven't kept up with my playthrough, you can catch it over here on youtube.com/ThePalibros. It's the full Monster Hunter Stories playthrough. I'm still steadily uploading every single playthrough. It's taken some time, but but yeah, the mechanics for the Rite of Channeling have opened up, which is basically you take traits from one monster, stick them in your new monster, and then that monster that you kind of juiced gets released back into the wild. No harm, no foul. But then you get like your own souped up monster. This way you can kind of like buff them up, or you can give them different traits. Say you start with a fire monster like a Rathalos. You want to give them ice attacks or like ice resistance. You can use the rite of channeling to like infuse your Rathalos with, say, a Zamtrios, an ice monster, and vice versa. And so, like, well, last time we left off, that was like mind blowing for me. That was like the big, okay, this is not Pokemon anymore. Like, we can get so deep in the bag if we want to. And I thought that was going to be a lot more game changing at the time. I want to say I was about 10 hours into the game, maybe 15 hours into the game at that point. And I thought I was going to be splicing monsters left and right. But maybe because I had the idea of like, okay, I have to kind of golden path this thing so I can get through the story, so I can play through 2 to get to 3. I haven't done it as much as I thought I would. Still a really cool mechanic. Just, I thought I would be doing it to every single monster. But, I've gotten pretty far throughout the story without having to do that. I've been catching more monsters here and there, but I haven't been min-maxing each single one yet. I don't really see myself doing that right now I haven't really had the need to. But it is a cool mechanic that still looks like it comes back within Monster Hunter Stories 2 and 3. So maybe in the future games, when I try them out, they're going to have more of they're going to be more prevalent. So we'll see how that goes. But in terms of story, which is the thing I kind of want to focus more on, because it's Monster Hunter Stories, this is a pretty engaging story, I would say. I know more, like I've said in past episodes, this game's story, this spin-off story, is more memorable to me than any Monster Hunter I've played before. Because, Monster Hunter Propers was, to me, more about getting into a room with your friends, ordering a pizza and playing all night, grabbing your armor sets, grabbing your weapons, getting those 2% drops of material drops that you needed to make like your perfect set. And that's what Monster Hunter Proper was to me. And so, Monster Hunter Stories, I was like, do I really care about a story in Monster Hunter? No, I just want to get all the cool stuff and have those moment-to-moment gameplay things with my friends. Picking up Monster Hunter Stories is a totally opposite feeling. I love, like, it's a bare bones story, but it actually has a lot of charm and a lot of heart to it. So after we met Avinia, we go to basically what we know as the Guild Hub, or like the Monster Hunter Guild home base called Gildegran. It is this giant walled-off castle-like city where the entire Monster Hunter's guild is there. When we first arrive, everyone freaks out because I'm just walking around town with my monsties, and we are from a small village hidden in the mountains, and the pastime, or like, riders are just in that village. Like, it isn't a thing. The entire rest of the world is Monster Hunter proper. We hunt monsters for materials, and that's it. So seeing this weirdo Hot Link walking into town with, like, rolling with 6 monsties, people are starting to freak out. They're trying to attack me. They're trying to attack my group. And we're like, what is going on? Like, what is wrong with you people? And it's just a quick culture shock to, like, our main characters. And of course, we get to meet the kind of Grand Hub Master there, and they house us up with I guess you can consider him as like the best hunter. His name is Roberto. And this guy, he's a great character. He talks like he talks like a surfer bro. He's like, super scruffy, talks like a surfer bro. And you know, he doesn't really get you at first, but because there is like a dwindling in Monster Hunter population, he's intrigued that there's this guy, like my main character, that is able to coexist with a monster. And so, you know, Monster Hunter in general is all about like ecological balance. I guess is kind of the main theme about Monster Hunter. Yes, we hunt monsters and stuff like that, but we're not doing it to extinction. We're not doing it out of malicious intent. It is about, you know, balance and order in like the animal monster kingdom. And so, you know, it's kind of just told to us that the monster population is kind of dwindling. And so that's where Reverter comes in, and he's like kind of seeing the special power that your main character has with being a rider and seeing your kinship bond between you and your monsties. And, you know, so he just has to, he's intrigued by what you got going on there. And from there, he comes to check out a disturbance in the nearby desert. And that's where the story kind of ramps up a little bit more, because then we get ambushed by this evil scientist and his like he has like a servant dude who looks almost exactly like the main character that I made. So I call him my older brother. Yeah, so the evil Dr. Manelger and his servant Itsy Bitsy, we meet them out in the desert when the doctor kind of unleashes a Barroth that he's enslaved on us. And so this is kind of like the focal theme of the Monster Hunter story game. Should we be focusing on hunting / enslaving monsters versus, you know, peaceful coexistence? And the whole thing kind of explores kind of like X-Men Charles Xavier versus Magnus. It reads like X-Men, right? Like, of course, at the beginning of the game, Cheval, our ex-best friend, his mom got straight up killed by a blighted Nargacuga. And so he goes crazy, and basically his whole viewpoint on it is, I'm going to kill every monster so that tragedies won't ever happen again. And our point of view is like, well, tragedies won't ever happen again if we are able to tame and, you know, understand monsters, because that monster, that was just a freak accident. That was a blighted monster. And so, you know, it's just the two sides of the same coin thing. And I love that. In like, I'm a sucker for that type of like story because I love X-Men. And so I really love that kind of dichotomy, or that kind of like push and pull between, you know, what's right. Because, you know, on one hand, you take Cheval's point of view, and you're like, yeah, like it's fucked up. I don't want anything like that happen to me to ever happen to anyone else again. And like, you just take that out of context. That's like Batman. That is literally why Batman does what he does. That is literally why Magneto does what he does. He just wants his people to be safe and not be harmed and not be taken over. And so, you know, he does what he does, and to everyone else he seems like a bad guy, but, you know, I guess to a certain group of people, you could see why he does what he does, and you could empathize with that. I think that's the word I'm kind of looking for, is like, you can empathize with both sides. Like, neither side is technically wrong, but there's a, you know, a way to go about it. And so that's kind of like the way that the story is unfolding here. And we just keep, it plays out through like fights with Cheval. It plays out through fights with Dr. Manelger. He ends up enslaving this Barroth that we end up taking out. All the monsters that Dr. Manelger enslaves all have like this power suit armor on. that, you know, they have like blinders on so they can't see. It's very, you know, like harsh and unnatural. And so, you know, you're fighting against Dr. Menelger here, and then we end up going back, chasing him back to his lab that's carved out within like a volcano, like an active volcano. We've you know, chase him to his lab, try to destroy all his experiments. And that's kind of where we find out more about Naviru as well, our Palico companion. Naviru, you start off the game with Naviru. He doesn't really know anything about his past, or he doesn't really divulge anything about that. And so he's just like a talking Palico, and from the beginning, you're like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. Like, we need a comic relief character. It turns out that he is one of 6 experiments that Dr. Menelger worked on. You know, Dr. Menelger took 6 different felines and, you know, experimented on them. And we find out while we were trying to destroy Dr. Menelger's lab that there's 5 more experiments. So this is kind of the part of my playthrough where I kind of fell in love with all this ragtag bunch of Palicos. They all have very distinct personalities. I think one is like this hothead. He can literally spew fire. 2 is like a very smart, like upstanding citizen. 3, I think 3 is kind of like a... Oh, 3 is crazy. She's like this giant cat. This is the best way I can describe her. She's that hooker with a heart of gold. Like, that's the type of archetype character she is. This giant blonde cat that's very sexual in a weird ass way. It's weird. If you see it, you'll understand exactly. I'm not crazy. Check it out. The 4th cat, I believe, is I think it's a tech. It's like a green tech cat. 5 is Floofer. I think Floofer is my favorite one. She's a sleepy, small, tiny pink cat, and she always is like falling asleep while trying to tell you some exposition. And that leaves Naviru as the number 6. Now, up until this point, we don't know anything about Naviru's past, and it all comes back together when, you know, you have to save each of these, each of your Palico brethren, that he starts to remember everything. And so he is experimented on by Dr. Menelger, broke free, and fell into the ocean, and then somehow ended up on your island. And so he forgot all that. But, you know, he gained... So the experiment that was done to him was that he's able to, like, conduct electricity. Naviru, like, literally becomes Super Saiyan in one cutscene. And so, you know, it's a cool little backstory, and we end up destroying the lab, but not after Dr. Menelger and Itsy Bitsy. It's such a weird ass name, by the way. They try to unleash an Ignactor that they've enslaved using artificial kinship stones. And so Dr. Menelger has been trying to fashion artificial kinship stones so that he can help control monsters however he pleases and have them do his bidding. And of course that feeds back into the whole theme of, like, you know, coexistence versus like slavery. So yeah, and I think that story is much more interesting than just ecological restoration. Like, that's it when it comes to regular Monster Hunter games. So like, this Monster Hunter story spin-off gives me enough of a story to sink my teeth into, where you've seen this theme in other media before. You know, I was just talking about X-Men. Like, we watched X-Men 97, me and my wife. I showed it to her last year, and X-Men is just so fucking good. And so that kind of that storyline, that theme, like gives much more meaning to Monster Hunter stories to me than any story has been in Monster Hunter proper. And so, like I'm just enjoying the hell out of the Monster Hunter Stories game. I do plan to finish it soon. I still am going to finish it before Monster Hunter Stories 3 comes out on March 13th. But yeah, I am just having a blast with it. I'm going to finish it soon, and then I'm trying to figure out if I want to do a conversational style review, or if I want to do like a really not quick, but like a 5 to 10 minute edited thing to, kind of flex more of my editing skills. I think it might come out more coherent than clearly what this episode of the Palibros is. Excuse me. It's been a couple weeks since my last episode. I haven't flexed that muscle in a bit. But yeah, I think, I will say, if I was to score it right now, I am leaning between a 7.5. I think a solid 7.5. I haven't finished it. I think I'm about, I want to say maybe 5 to 10 more hours left of the game to finish it outright. But as of right now, my feelings on the game is about a 7.5 out of 10. And yeah, I'll give out those reasons when I'm more closer to finishing the game or have finished the game in my full review. But that's gonna be it for this episode of the Palibros. I know it's a shorter one. It is kind of a spin-off. We don't have everyone here, like I said. I'm trying to get everyone, or I'm trying to stick to 2 episodes per month for the podcast. And even though we don't have everyone here and we have a shorter episode, like I want to stick to that. I want to get those reps in, and I don't want to, have another excuse and make another apology video. Like, hey, sorry for the content and stuff like that. But thank you, fellow hunters, for coming through and having fun with us and sharing our love of everything Monster Hunter. If you enjoy what we do here, please like, subscribe, share, and rate us. It will really help us out with discoverability. And don't forget, if you want to catch us live, catch some live Monster Hunter action, to follow me at twitch.tv/KrabbyPatty, where I stream different Monster Hunter titles as well as a variety of other games. But as always, from all of us here at the Palibros, happy hunting.